I bow down to the Supreme Lord Nityananda, who is the awarder of the highest joy to all, the bestower of the holy name, and the crest jewel of all Paramahansa mendicants. My dear devotees, and all the demigods amongst you, I welcome you to this Nityananda Katha. We will hear about the most extraordinary avatar of the Lord, who did what no other avatar did before. He called us conditioned souls brothers. Yateshtam re brataha. Lord Nityananda appeared in the village of Ekachakra. His father was Hadai Pandit, the best of the Brahmanas, and his mother Padmavati. When he was still very young, one day a sannyasi came and he talked with Hadai Pandit the whole night about Krishna. You can still see the huge banyan tree at the edge of the village Ekachakra, where this sannyasi talked about Krishna's pastimes like lifting the Govardhan hill, bathing in the Jamuna, going out for cow herding, and engaging in the Rasa Leela, where he expended himself to be with all those fortunate souls, all those gopis who danced with him. When the morning arrived, Hadai Pandit felt so grateful to this sannyasi that he and his wife Padmavati wanted to offer him something. They went into the house and took something like a ghee lamp or a bell for offering out of the house. But each time they gave their precious gifts to the sannyasi said, "Thank you, but I have no need for that." They kept on offering things. Finally, the sannyasi Thakur said, "If you really want to give me something, then give me your boy." When he mentioned, "Give me your boy," it was as if a flash of lightning fell from the sky into the heart of Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. They cried. They said, "We only have Nitai, we have nothing else of value. Perhaps you can ask for something else." But the sannyasi said, "No, I only need him. If you don't want to give him to me, that is all right. You may keep him. But as far as I'm concerned, I only have use for your boy, who might become my servant." The parents cried, and kernel of tears was coming from their house. But finally they relented. After all, they had said they would give everything to the sannyasi. They could not go back on their promise. My dear devotees, who is this sannyasi and how did he come there? It is said that Lord Nityananda sits in the heart of every creature, and he had personally called him. Lord Nityananda has these powers. He can influence everyone right from within the heart. He showed this once when he stayed at the house of Srivas Thakur, and a crowd had come to take away the Achman pot which Srivas Pandit used for his puja. Malini, the wife of Srivas, cried, "Oh, due to our carelessness, a crow was able to steal the Achman pot." Nityananda said, "No problem." He sat and meditated, and his meditation or his voice reached the crow who had already flown away. He heard the crow in his own language. "Hey crow, come back, give that Achman pot immediately." So the crow took an U-turn and returned the pot. Yes, Nityananda is sitting in everyone's heart, and he can direct the movements of the living entities. He had called the sannyasi. Who this sannyasi is, you will learn in a few minutes. The sannyasi and Lord Nityananda traveled to all the significant holy places. When the sannyasi's day came to an end in this world, this boy who had joined him had now become a young man. His name at that time was Kuvera. Nityananda's name in his previous ashram was Kuvera. Kuvera had grown up. He was a young man. When the sannyasis laid down to give up his life, he entered into the body of Kuvera. This sannyasi, some say, is no one else than Vishvarupa, the older brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had on his wanderings come by in Ekachakra and taken Nityananda because Nityananda wanted this. And when he left his body, he entered into Nityananda. That's why some say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Nityananda always older brother. These devotees say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never related in his words to his pastimes as Krishna, and therefore never addressed Nityananda as Balaram. He addressed him as Vishvarupa. This is one of the perspectives on this sannyasi. Nityananda later met Lakshmipati and then Madhavendra Puri. And when he met Madhavendra Puri, it was as if fire and water met. There was an explosion of love of Godhead. For a few days they rolled on the ground laughing and talking about Krishna. Madhavendra Puri, of course, is known as the root of Krishna Bhakti in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, no? So 20 years passed like this, walking. Lord Nityananda, or as he was known as Kuvera, would never talk to anyone. He would just laugh and smile. And finally, he entered Vrindavan. When Lord Nityananda entered Vrindavan, it seemed that all the living beings, the peacocks, the cows, the birds, even the flowers like chameli, Jutika, Malika, and so on, recognized him as Balaram, and they blossomed and called out in joy, Keka, Keka, greeting their old friend, the Lord Balaram. Nityananda behaved quite extraordinary in Vrindavan. He went to all the temples and he asked, where's my brother Kanai? He went to this temple and that temple and the other temple, asking, where is Kanai? Finally, a great devotee came. Krishna is at the moment not in Vrindavan. He is in Navadvip. Yes, Nityananda could see the deities standing on the altar, but because the person he was looking for had appeared in Navadvip, he thought these deities were not only forms, not Krishna. It's a different darshan than we have. When we see the deities and we are dull and covered, we also see only forms. But no, Nitai wanted to see the walking, the talking, the singing, the laughing Krishna. And therefore this exalted Vaishnava told him, why do you look in Vrindavan? Go to Navadvip. Immediately, Lord Nityananda went to Navadvip. But he didn't want to just go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that. He wanted to know if Chaitanya's heart and mind were also looking for him. I think this is a desire of every person like us also. We search for Krishna, but after some time we want to know, does Krishna also care for us? So Nityananda hid in the house of Nandan Acharya, unknown to anyone else. The next day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu greeted all his devotees like normal, like he usually did. And he said to them, last night I had a surprising dream. A chariot halted before our house, and a tall person dressed in blue cloth, who had an earring in the shape of a shark, repeatedly asked, is this the house of my brother? Maybe there's something in this dream. So Haridas and Shrivas, go and find my brother here in Navadvip. Asked everyone if some extraordinary personality has arrived. After searching half a day or a full day, I forgot, Haridas and Shrivas returned and said, no one special has arrived. At that moment, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laughed and said, okay, my brother wants to be discovered only by me. It is only me who can reveal Nitai. So he went with all the devotees straight into the courtyard of this devotee, Nandan Acharya. And there in the courtyard, they saw a most extraordinary personality. He was more beautiful than Cupid. He wore attractive garments. What was the color of the garments, my dear devotees? Blue. You would have recognized him. You should have been there. And he was decorated with a flower garland. Sandalwood paste was all over his body, but decorated especially his forehead. The transcendental luster which came from Lord Nityananda's body was more beautiful than that of gold. When Chaitanya stood directly in front of Nityananda Prabhu was still closing his eyes, but through the eyes of his heart he recognized, now the Lord of my heart is there. So he opened his eyes, but he just stared at Lord Chaitanya, not moving, not saying, not reacting in any way. It seemed his eyes drank the beauty of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And his whole limbs of the body seemed to desire to embrace him, but he was stunned. Then with a gesture, the Lord instructed Srivas Thakur to recite one verse from the Bhagavatam. And Srivas Pandit stood up and immediately chanted this best of verses. Barhapidam natavaravapu kanayokanikaram bibradvasa kanakakapisham vaidyajantim chamalam rantran veno adarasudaya purayan gopa brindya brindaranyam swapararamanam pravishat gita kirti. Krishna wears a peacock feather ornament upon his head, blue kanikara flowers on his ears, and a yellow garment as brilliant as gold on his body. But he did not stand still for a moment. He exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavan and made it beautiful with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and all the cowherd boys sang his glories. My dear devotees, upon hearing this verse, Nityananda became alive. He fell down to the ground unconscious, and when Gauranga urged Srivas to continue with these Bhagavatam shlokas, Nityananda rose and started to dance. He danced so forcefully that sometimes he would jump right on the floor and roll on the ground so that all the devotees would pray, "Oh Krishna!
Oh Krishna!
Please save him!
Please save him!
Oh Krishna, please save him!"
Oh Krishna, please save him!
Yes. So finally the two lords danced together and started the Sankirtan movement. They met every day in the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. One day, Nityananda took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the side. He said, "It's very nice. We are relishing Kirtan and Krishna Katha. Our ecstasy is sometimes so great that we roll on the ground. But brother, did you forget your promise? You wanted to save all souls, not just those who are with you now." Lord Chaitanya said, "Good that you asked me." it is not within my power to save the souls by giving them prema, because I have given all my love to you. You are carrying the ecstasy of my love. You are the storehouse of my prema. I can only distribute the Sankirtan movement through you. This is expressed in this verse, which I would like to chant with you. Aye brata ninam. I will once chant alone and then you get the idea. Aye brata ninam kalikaloshinam kinno bhavita. Aye brata ninam kalikaloshinam kinno bhavita. Tata prayashitam rachaya yatanaya sata ime. Brajanti tvamitam sahabhagavata mantayati yo. Itam sahabhagavatam bhaje Nityanandam bhajanu tarukandam niravadi. So Lord Nityananda said, "Hey brother Gauranga, what will be the destination of the sinful souls of Kali Yuga? And how will they be saved? Please devise a method by which they will easily attain you. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree." And Chaitanya heard that Nityananda asked him to spread love of Godhead to all the fallen souls, all of us. He said, "I can't do it. The love is stored in your heart. I have given it there. You have to do it." Then Lord Nityananda said something to all of us. He addressed us. Yateshnam re brata Guru Hari Hari Dvanam Anisham. Yateshnam re brata Guru Hari. Once again, what is with here? Yes, stay. Don't go. Yeah, it's going on its own. Lord Nityananda's ecstasy. Yateshtam re vrata Kuru Hari Hari Dvanamanisham Tato va samsaram Buddhitananadayo mayila get. What do we do? Drashti, it needs you. So let us not get hung up in the favorite hung-up point of the modern man, the computer, Lord Nityananda said something to us. Oh brothers, without inhibition, all of you together, continuously chant Sri Harinam, Hari Hari. If you do so, I personally will take the responsibility to deliver you from the ocean of material existence. I take this great vow. Prabhu, let us not wait for the computer. Come with your attention to here, no? Oh brothers, Lord Nityananda said, without inhibition, all of you together continuously chant Sri Harinam. If you do this one thing, I personally will take the responsibility to deliver you from the ocean of material existence. I take this great vow. My dear devotees, this is significant. This is the first and only avatar who ever called the conditioned souls his brothers. We human beings are, in other words, accepted as brothers, means as family members, as we are now. Not so pure maybe, not so intelligent, with many vrittis, but Nityananda doesn't place any condition on our deliverance. He doesn't say, go to this self-improvement course first before you come to me. He doesn't say, become pure by your sadhana before you come to me. He doesn't even say, become free from material desires before you come to me. He said, you're naturally my family members. I care for you, and therefore I take on my own shoulders the burden of delivering you if you chant continuously Sri Harinam and sing Hari Hari.
Hari Hari.
You will ask, as a skeptical person of the year 2023, how can he make such a promise? On what strength? Well, it's on the strength of the Bhagavatam. There, Krishna says in the 10th canto, 22nd chapter, that the desires of those who fix their minds upon me does no longer lead to material desires for sense gratification. Just as barley corns burned by the sun and then cooked can no longer sprout into new sprouts. Therefore, Lord Nityananda says, leave the responsibility to me. Because when someone chants, eventually, when he chants continuously, that means for a long time, eventually his mind will turn to Krishna. If you chant only a little bit, your mind might turn to wealth or entertainment and so on. But if you chant more than a little bit, if you chant extended, you will see that you have association with Krishna and something happens. I talked today to a devotee who had come from Radhadesh Mellows and who had thought, well, I work 8 hours for my boss, why do I not chant 8 hours a day? And he did so for 2 or 3 continuous days. And afterwards, this is what the devotee told me, he was a changed man. Because when you chant extra, then, my dear devotees, you associate with Krishna, and the result is that your material entanglement stops. Just like when you fry seeds, they don't have the power to sprout any longer. So if you are in the kirtan and you are not fried out, then, my dear devotees, you will see that your material life is not developing in the way it would have developed. We are singing today an Ashtakam, the Nityananda Ashtakam. The computer people are not properly prepared, so therefore it is not possible for us to use the computer, but we can still access the power of this Ashtakam. An Ashtakam is a form of prayer where the Ishta Devata is fully glorified in all his completeness. So in the first verse, I will only be able to share a few of these verses. You hear how Lord Nityananda looks. Sarachana Brantim Spuradamalakantim Gajagatim. Sarachana Brantim Spuradamalakantim Gajagatim. Hari Premon Matam Tritapadama Sattvam Smitamukam. Hari Premon Matam Tritapadama Sattvam Smitamukam. Sadagunam Netram Karakalalita Vetram Kalbidam. Sadagunam Netram Karakalita Vetram Kalibidam. Vaje Nityanandam Bhajanutarukandam Niravadi. Vaje Nityanandam Bhajanutarukandam Niravadi. This verse says, I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. Please look at his face now. His bright face mocks the full moon, whose pure complexion glistens, whose gait is like that of an intoxicated elephant, who is always mad in Krishna Prema, who is the personification of pure spiritual energy. Please look at his face, whose face wears a gentle smile, whose eyes are always rolling due to his absorption in Krishna Prema, whose lotus hand carries a beautiful staff, and who by the performance of Nam Sankirtan pierces the influence of Kali Yuga. So at the opening, this is verse 1, some of the qualities of Nityananda are given. Sarach Chandra Brantim. He appears like the full moon of the autumn season, without any taints or spots. By his moon rays he destroys the dense darkness of our ignorance. Often Nityananda would sit with a few hundred people and he would explain the Bhagavatam to them. And as they listened to him, their inner ignorance or darkness was removed. Did you know that Lord Nityananda would go with hundreds of people around Bengal and other places, and he was mainly responsible after Chaitanya for the spread of the Sankirtan movement. He would do all day kirtan and in the evening explain the Bhagavatam. And as a result, people who came to him became blissful. How did he move? His movements were like those of an elephant. Do you know how an elephant moves? I think you have seen. It's very slow, and he sways back and forth, left and right, left and right. Yes. And when someone, the reason why he is so slow and why he goes like this is because he carries a heavy load of love, and therefore he sways. Also, Nitai is calm and forgiving. He does not take any offense because he's intoxicated with love. When someone is not intoxicated with love but full of problems, all small things upset him. But when someone is full of love, nothing, even an offense that is as heavy as Mount Meru, can upset him. He just doesn't even see it. So Lord Nityananda did not see even the offenses of Jagai and Madai. Hari Premonmatam. He is always mad in the ecstasy of Krishna Prema. We hear when Lord Nityananda would walk, there was once this devotee, he was climbing up a palm tree to get date juice, something which you can drink in Bengal. Actually, we don't drink this because the trees are made to bleed this juice, and it's a little too violent for Vaishnavas, and it is also intoxicating and so on. So this person was there on the top of the tree, but Lord Nityananda saw him. Oh, he is wasting getting palm juice. He's wasting his time. He just called, Hari, Hari. That's the... good, yes. Hari, Hari! And this person was so empowered that he simply jumped down from the tree and began to jump. The same person, Parameshvara, later led a kirtan, and the people in his village who could not understand that he had become mad with ecstasy threw a dead fox in the middle of the kirtan. Now, he had become so empowered by Lord Nityananda that he chanted Hari Hari to the dead fox, and the dead fox began to jump up and dance. This is how powerful his Hari Hari was. Hari Hari! Lord Nityananda Shakti, no? He is the personification of the spiritual energy, and he typically always has a smile on his face. Because he's in the ecstatic mood, his eyes are rolling. You can see here a little, no? The eyes are rolling. For those who take his shelter, he destroys all the influence of Kali Yuga by Sankirtan. What is it? Karag? No. Hari Premanmatam. It's somehow here in this verse. Karakalite Vedram Kalibidam. Yes, he takes his stick. He has a stick in a hand, and he beats on the head of Kali Maharaj. There are three problems which the devotee has in this world: Maya, Kali Maharaj, and Shukracharya. I will tell those who are interested what Shukracharya does. But let's not have too many problems, So, but the main point of this verse, which is repeated in all the other verses of this Ashtakam, is in the last line. Please sing the last line with me. Bhaje Nityananda Bhajanutarukrandam Niravadi. And one more time. Bhaje Nityananda Bhajanutarukrandam Niravadi. This means Nityananda Prabhu is the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. Your Bhakti is like a tree, and it will eventually give one fruit, that is the fruit of Prema, the Prema Tal. The root of this is Lord Nityananda. Why? Because in him Lord Chaitanya posed his gift of ecstatic love for the souls of Kali Yuga. My dear devotees, Lord Nityananda is not easy to understand. He would sometimes jump on the back of bulls and ride them, but it is not recommended to ride on cows and bulls. They are to be respected. He would sometimes jump into the Ganga and play with crocodiles, which is also not conventional behavior. He would dance, and in his kirtans, children would become so empowered that for 3 days they did not eat. They just wanted to go back to Lord Nityananda. When their parents tried to restrain them, not even a whole village of 100 people could keep these children. They were so strongly empowered by Nityananda that they pulled them behind. What are we to do with this? My dear devotees, Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj had said something which is very dear to my heart. It is ecstasy that takes a person always out of the constraining containers of conventional religion. Nowadays people are no longer convinced to join a religion. They don't like belief systems and dogmas. People want to make an experience nowadays that teaches them the true, whether this is true, this path, or whether this is not true. And dare I say, people want to make an experience that is so overpowering that it can only be called in our language ecstasy, or that takes us out of the static, conditioned life. No? So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda is Sada Premon Madam Paramavidamanda Manasam. He's an avaduta. He's beyond all rules. He appears to be a contradiction. But the spiritual world is a contradiction with our laws. It's a place where our ratio, our rational thoughts cannot go. Only love can go there. And you will see this in the next and last pastime which we share. One day, it was in the morning, Lord Nityananda came to the very pious Suryadas Pandit, who is the younger brother of Gauridas. These two brothers lived in Ambika Kalna. And Gauridas is a very, very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, Chaitanya and Nityananda would regularly visit Gauridas Pandit by boat. They would come from the other side of the Ganga, where Shantipur is, and visit him and eat with Gauridas. So he had a younger brother, Suryadas Pandit, and Lord Nityananda came to Suryadas and just without any announcement said, I want to marry your daughter, Janava. Oh, we all know that you are an avaduta. You laugh and dance and cry in love of Godhead. But we are brahmanas. Lord Nityananda smiled because it was him who bewildered the intelligence of Suryadas Pandit. Suryadas Pandit continued, it's not possible. How can it be? First we have to consider your caste, the astrology, then I have to ask the family, but you are an outcast. I'm a brahmana. Sri Nityananda smiled again and simply left. Suryadas was highly upset. He called a meeting with the family members and told them about the Lord's proposal. And then he said, he had developed some doubt. Is it possible? Is it good that I sent Nityananda away? So he said, last night I had a dream. A person came to the house. There was a chariot and there was a flag on the chariot. He had a huge body like a wrestler. Oh, said the relatives, you are very impressed. Yeah, he had a golden complexion, reddish eyes. He got down from the chariot. He carried a plow over his shoulder and a stick in the other hand. And he gestured for me to come. Come, Suryadas, come. Flowers decorated his hair, very unusual. Golden earrings. He was dressed in blue garments. There were anklets decorating his feet as if he wanted to dance and make some music. And he said to me, I'm going to marry your daughter. You have not recognized me until today. Then he suddenly disappeared. Swan, gone. The relatives said, bring some cool lassi for Suryadas. We see so many things in our dreams. Others said, well, maybe it's the same person who came and wanted to marry our Janava. Nitai could be the supreme Brahman. But then, we are Grihastas, said another one. How can we marry our daughter to the supreme Brahman? So they were very bewildered, and finally Suryadas, who couldn't come to a conclusion, grabbed his head and said, Krishna, save me, save me, save me. As they were discussing, they heard a cry from inside the house, and then a loud sound. They all ran inside the inner room, and there they saw Janava lying on the ground. Her eyes were rolled up. She had listened to the conversation, and her love for her Lord had naturally risen in her heart. A doctor was called. The doctor analyzed her and found out epilepsy. Such people who get epilepsy die very soon. They brought medicine, but it was ineffective. Janava turned health turned down, 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 so that finally the doctor said, I can't help. Bring her to the banks of the Ganga and arrange already her funeral rites. Bring the wood already. Suryadas began to cry. He ran to his brother Gauridas. He's just next door. And when Gauridas heard about it, Gauridas said, I think we committed an offense against the Avaduta Nityananda. We must bring him back as soon as possible. We must beg his pardon. As long as we live in this world, we have to make good relationships with everyone and then maintain them. I think when we stop for a while, it's true. We have a chance in this world, in this big, big, big arena of relationships, to give our best, to make relationships, and now comes the challenge. Maintain the relationships. After death, said Gauridas, that chance is gone. So they where could Nityananda go? So they went to the banks of the Ganga, and there under a large banyan tree, I have seen that banyan tree, said Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda was sitting erect, his eyes were closed, and from his eyes came a constant stream of tears. And he chanted, Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna.
Gauridas came with all the relatives. And they waited until Lord Nityananda opened his eyes. And as soon as Nityananda saw Suryadas, Gauridas, he said, my dear cowherd boys, have you all forgotten me? Then he put his hand on the shoulder of Suryadas. He didn't say anything more. He just said, my dear cowherd boys, have you all forgotten me? And when he put his hand on the shoulder of Suryadas began to cry, and he said, it was you. You completely bewildered my intelligence, but now I can see. You did not inspire me to give up my attachment to Varnashram. It was you who put the veil of illusion over me because of your inconceivable pastimes. Saying this, Suryadas took Nitai to the house. At that time, Janava had been moved on the veranda of the house. The moment Nitai came, a ray of sun came on her. She was covered with white cloth. Under the cloth were her beautiful curly hairs. There were signs of impending death on Janava. But as soon as Nityananda passed by, the fragrance of his beautiful body entered her nostrils. She quickly got up, looked around, and then shyly covered her face and moved into the interior house, where she said, where am I? What happened to me? Nityananda did not go to her. He went right into the courtyard of Suryadas Pandit, and there, for everyone to see, he exhibited his six-armed form. Two upper hands were carrying bow and arrow. The two middle hands carried a plow and a stick. And the two lower hands, they carried a kamandalu, that's a water pot, and another stick, a sanyastanda. His head was covered with a crown. He had earrings. His body was radiant with valuable jewels and ornaments. And everyone who was there, the brahmanas and the pandits, they prayed. Who knows the name of this extraordinary form? Satpuja. You know everything. When the brahmanas saw him, they all chanted, long life, long life, long life. They didn't really know what to chant else. There is a chant like this because they were overwhelmed. And then the Lord took his form back and sat on the doorsteps of the Vishnu temple, just smiling to himself. So the marriage was quickly arranged. It was a gorgeous marriage. All of those who heard about it are still talking 500 years later about this marriage. You can read about this marriage if you are into marriages in the Nityananda Charitamrita, one of the last chapters. But something even more extraordinary was about to happen. One day they were married. Janava was serving Nitai Prasadam. And her younger sister Vasudha, who had fixed the beautiful form of Nityananda in her heart since childhood, came and helped Janava to serve the Prasadam. As she served, the sari that was covering her head somehow slipped down, but she couldn't correct the position of the sari because her hands were carrying the pots. So what Vasudha did is she manifested an extra set of 2 hands for her decoration of the sari. Taran, that is something beyond you and your present wife. No, that is not. That is divine. It is because both of these sisters are the eternal wives of Balaram. Janava is Rohini and Vasudha is Revati. So they had come again to assist their beloved Lord in the pastime of spreading the Sankirtan movement. Nityananda, without saying anything, caught hold of her hand, I won't do this, and said to Suryadas, I will take your second daughter as my wife. And Suryadas said, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This time he had no objection because Nityananda had not covered him like before. So, yeah, my dear devotees, what I think is we should today, on his appearance day, chant all the verses of the Nityanandastakam. What do you think? Yes. Very good. I have it here. It seems to work now, isn't it? So we will start with the first verse. Is this good or should we go higher, lower? What? Oh. This C sharp? My dear devotees, it is said, if you chant this particular Ashtakam, which is the complete prayer to Lord Nityananda, let me say, tell you, whoever reads and recites with firm faith this Sri Nityananda Ashtakam will have the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu soon revealed to him. These 8 verses are the essence of Bhakti Rasa. They are the life and soul of all Rasika Bhaktas, and the reservoir of all mellows. In other words, you will get rasa or taste. Lord Nityananda is the essence of the universe, the three planetary systems, and by remembrance, by his remembrance, the sinful reactions of all sinful persons are destroyed. So let us chant this. You will see how your karma will go, and you will get some taste in your bhakti rasa. So we will chant this completely. By now you know the melodies, so we can all chant it in one go. Sarach Chanda Brantim Suradamalakantim Nadagadim Avani Premon Louder Sitamukam Sadagunam Netram Kalakalita Vetram Kalibidam Vajeni Janandam Vajanutarukandam Niravati Rasanam Agaram Svajanagana Savasvamatulam Tadiyaika Prana Pramita Vasuda Janavapatim Sada Premon Madam Paramaviditam Mandamanasam Ajeni Janandam Ajantarukandam Niravati Shachi Sunopeshtam Nikila Jagad Ishtam Sukamayam Kaloma Jajivo Radana Kadano Dama Karunam Hare Akyanatva Bhavajalati Garbon Natiharam Ajeni Janandam Ajantarukandam Niravani Aye Brataninam Kalikalushinam Kim Nubhavita Tata Prayashitam Rachaya Yatanaya Satamime Prajanti Tvam Mitam Sahava Bhaktatam Antayatiyo Vajeni Janandam Vajantarukandam Niravadi Yateshtam Rebrata Kuru Hari Hari Dvana Manisham Tatova Samsaram Buddhitaranadayo Mailaget Iram Mahuspoter Atatiratayam Yapatigriyam Vajeni Janandam Ajantarukandam Niravadi Balat Samsarambo Nidhi Haranakumbod Bhavamaho Sadam Shreya Sindhu Nati Kumuda Bandom Sumuditam Kala Shreni Spujit Timirahara Surya Prabhamaham Vajeni Dhyanandam Vajantarukandam Niravadi Natantam Gayantam Harimanuvadantam Patipati Rajantam Pasyantam Swamapi Nadayantam Janaganam Prakurvantam Shantam Sakarunadigantam Prakalanat Nityanandam Bhajanutaruganam Subhibranam Bratu Karasarasijam Komalataram Mito Vaktra Lokot Chalita Paramananda Hridayam Brahmantam Madhuya Ahat Madayantam Purajanam Ade Nityanandam Bhajanutaruganam Niravadi Rasanamaram Rasivalam Sasavaishnavadanam Rasaganam Saram Nidhanam Sadanam Param Nityananda Ashtakam Idam Bhuvam Patatiya Tadangridvan Vabim Suraganigaram Vaje Nityanandam